I joined St John Ambulance Service in 1992 and I've been a community paramedic for 3 to 4 years now. The area I cover is around about 120, 130 kilometres long. It's reasonably linear from Cunderdin through Quairading, Beverley, Brookton down to Pingelly. It's probably the smallest community paramedic area, which is quite an advantage to me. It means that I get to see my towns more frequently. I get to see my towns usually once a week and average at least 2 training sessions per week. And in there, of course, there are various meetings with other stakeholders. The community paramedic is essentially a consultative role. It's a support role. It's about supporting the volunteer model and capacity building.
The CP role, I think, is just fantastic. It's been one of the greatest innovations in recent years for St John, and where I feel it sort of lies is in liaison with the St John hierarchy in particular, which gives us a real conduit directly to information that we need, but also to bring us up to make sure we're up to scratch with all the latest training and information and that sort of thing, and that we don't miss anything out.
The duties vary. There's a strong training component. There's operational support, and there's also actual on-road duties as well. It's about helping sub-centres function well, and the focus will vary depending on which sub-centre we're at.
We found out that we were getting a CP. We had no idea who it was, but it's all good. And lo and behold, it was Drew. So we were quite pleased with that, someone we knew.
With Drew coming on as our community paramedic, it's meant that we've been able to expand into different areas of training and really increase our knowledge base and our skill base as far as our ambulance work goes.
We used to have trainers come up from Perth, we'd refresh every 3 years, whereas now it's done on an annual basis. So having a community paramedic here, he's able to give me some support as a VDO and just more or less be in constant touch with us, so that if we have a question, we have someone who's in between who can say, listen, ring this person or ring somebody else, or they've got the answer off the cuff, which is normally the case.
Going back years ago, before we had CPs, we had no training regime. It was only, you take your own initiative, drive your own car and all them and see what you could pick up.
Before, when we were volunteers, if we wanted to know something, we'd have to ring Belmont and try and hope that they had somebody down there who would know what to do.
Now they've got a CP, he's here, he does, I call the safety checks around the area. He picks up anything that's faulty, he'll tell you if something's not right, tells you of new equipment coming out.
So having the community paramedic around, they were actually able to join that link in between the theory and why it was done that way. With the experience they've got, it's just fantastic to be able to have that.
He also brings together the other services as well, because he acts as a bit of a liaison with the police department, with the fireys. By
having a community paramedic available to me, it allows me to know in that community how many volunteers I have available or what their process will be.
There's been a great improvement in communication since the community paramedic has come into effect. With Drew, you can contact him, whereas with some of the volunteers, they all have day jobs, they all work. So at least if Drew is there, you can contact him and he can give you an answer straight away.
When things are, up against it, it's being able to ring Drew and say, hey Drew, it's Joe, this is what's going on, and we can talk as 2 individuals from 2 departments, not basically uniform to uniform. So it's that real, I suppose, community of it all, is that it's not just one person, it's a collective, and we all work together.
With Drew being in contact with Cunderdin, Brookton and all the other sub-centres that he covers, we're being able to share ideas about training, share problems and also solutions. So it's been a fantastic way to bring people together and network.
You're now mixing with Drew's 5 or 6 sub-centres. So if you said, Scott or Jenny or somebody, I know who he's talking about. So you intermix and you get to know everybody, which is a really good thing.
I feel that that's been a big emphasis for me and continues to be, trying to get sub-centres to work together, trying to get them to think of it as commonplace to call on each other for help.
The only thing he does have problems with is keeping car batteries charged. Yeah, you know, he's often, only down here last week, jump-starting his car after he parked outside the Ambicat all day and flat batteries.
Oh, I remember Drew coming past Great Southern Highway and calling into home because he had actually was going to run out of fuel. So he came in and grabbed a jerry can, so that was very handy for him, that not many people know that.
We have a Dunny Award, which is up on the wall, and Drew is well and truly in the line for it for this year, I can tell you.
Very supportive husband. We've been married for 12, nearly 13 years.
Is it that long?
Mm-hmm. Yes, it is.
Good Lord.
Feels like longer, really, doesn't it? He's a great dad, very involved in his kids' education.
He's able to get along with everybody, and he's also on the road a lot.
He brings a much greater depth of knowledge. You know, I mean, it's terrific to have someone that has the knowledge base.
You know, you learn lots from the man. He's always been there to support you.
Our volunteers are crucial to the state's operations. Without our volunteers, we virtually couldn't run the ambulance service as we know it.
We were very, very lucky to get Drew. He's been an absolute perfect fit for our sub-centre and I think this little area.
I haven't said so many nice things about him in a long time. Not in front of him anyway.